The new season of Love After Lockup is here, and I want to talk about Zeruiah and Troy. Zeruiah is from a family of preachers. Her mom and dad, they both run a church, and they've been preachers for over 30 years. And her whole family is really involved in the church. Her 11-year-old son's a part of the choir. Coming from a preacher's family, her family was really strict growing up. She couldn't go to no birthday parties. She couldn't go spend the night at her friends' houses. And actually, my parents were the same exact way growing up. So once I became a teenager, I started rebelling, and that is exactly what Zeruiah started doing. She got a taste of freedom, and she got a taste of some bad boys, and she never looked back. And she just started dating men who were getting in trouble, and then she got with her baby daddy, and he ended up going to prison, and she tried to stick around with him at first, but she's like, you know what? This is too much, trying to stick by his side while he's in prison and trying to wait it out. So she found another prisoner to wait it out for and started dating 29-year-old Troy. He's serving a 7-year prison sentence for being a criminal in possession of a firearm and for a attempted robbery charge. And Troy was her ex's prison cellmate. Which, like I said, I don't understand. She couldn't wait it out for her baby daddy, but she's going to wait it out for another random inmate. And she ended up meeting Troy one time when she went to go visit her baby daddy while she was still with him. She went to visit him, and she noticed how hot his roommate was and took a little mental note. And then once they broke up, I guess she was able to reach out to him, and now she's with Troy. And I can tell she's going to be one of the delusional ones. She has this big Troy tattoo on the side of her stomach, and I just don't understand why these girls rush to have their children call these men daddy and then get these men's name tattooed on them. Like, she reminds me of Jessica, who was with Dustin from a previous season. Just because she has this huge tattoo that's going to be pretty impossible to cover up. Like, what happened to people getting tattoos that you can cover up one day? She's like all in at this point. Like, it's going to work out with Troy either one way or another, because I got this big ass tattoo on the side of me. And she's been bragging about how she's dropped 50 racks on her man since he's been in prison, and people were giving her a hard time on social media because they feel like it looks like her son's in a toddler bed while she's spending all her money on a prisoner. Troy is a self-proclaimed chick magnet, so I definitely fear he may have some loyalty issues once he does get out of prison. And Zeruiah is from a family of preachers, like I said, and her family has these big plans that Troy's going to get out of prison and he's going to start preaching. They think he's going to like start preaching the first Sunday he gets out. Like, literally, Zeruiah was sitting in the back of the church, and her mom came back there and was talking to her about her fears about Troy getting out. And the next thing you know, Troy calls up on the phone. She puts him on speakerphone, and he's talking dirty to her about how he wants to kiss all over her and be all over her once he gets out. And she's like, yeah, by the way, you're on speakerphone, and my mom and the church is right here listening to you in the background. The mom interrupted Troy's dirty talking to Zeruiah to say, oh, hey, do you have your sermon ready for once you get out of prison so you can preach right from the jump? And Troy's like, look, I ain't going to be doing no preaching. And he told Zeruiah straight up on the phone that he really has no plans to go to church at all. And she seems content with it. She's like, oh, don't worry. I don't really want to go to church anymore anyways. We can just go hiking and go in nature and have our own little church service thing going on. Which, you know, I kind of didn't like the fact that Troy wasn't open to it. Like, I understand not being pressured, you know, when it comes to your religion, but at the same time, I feel like since it's such a big part of her family's life and it's been such a big part of her life, that he would at least be willing to give it a try. Like, I understand maybe you don't want to do it the first day you get out of prison, and I understand maybe you don't want to have to worry about the stress of having to preach, but you think you would at least want to go see what it's all about at least once instead of completely write it off. And if he's going to completely write it off, then I think that's a little bit of a red flag, just in my opinion. Zeruiah was still married to her ex-husband when she still first started talking to Troy, and Troy told her that she had to move forward with her divorce in order to marry him. So she ended up divorcing him and ended up immediately marrying Troy, and Troy ended up adopting her son, according to her. She claims that when her son was born, she didn't put him on the birth certificate, so now she is making this prison pen pal she started writing, I guess, her son's father, even though he has not spent time with her son outside of prison. It seems like she's not like a complete airhead, because she's an executive director and she's able to make 50 racks and she's able to just blow on this prisoner, but it definitely seems like she does not have the best decision making when it comes to trying to decide someone's character. And it seems like when she jumps into being with someone, she's all in and just rushes things. And she acts like she's not very free-spirited and she's been like reserved growing up. But her Instagram portrays a completely different picture. She has all these twerking videos of her twerking like in thongs. And then she actually has an OnlyFans, which I'm curious what her preacher family feels about that. And her and Troy have a nonprofit organization. It's called Project Heal, and it's made to help individuals who have been affected by trauma. They have therapeutic services, they have little restorative circles, creative workshops, motivational speaking, and day trips, and they help a wide variety of people. They help people as young as 12 years old all the way up to 18 plus, which that's awesome. They have a variety of services, and they show their support staff, and they have Zeruiah listed as the founder executive director, and they have Troy listed as the director of community engagement, and they have different therapeutic partners as a part of their team. They have different mental health counselors, different psychologists, and they are asking for donations and volunteers and partners for their nonprofit. So at least they're doing something to give back. I think that's awesome because it's all completely free. And she revealed that she is going to set her man up once he gets out of prison. She put $150 in his wallet. She had a big money bouquet to give him as soon as he gets out of prison. And she said that she is fearful about hooking up with him once he does get out because she's scared that he may not be big enough for her. And I guess her and Troy already had this conversation, and she was telling her sister about all this, and she's like, yeah, I told Troy if he's not big enough, then we're gonna have to get that figured out. And the sister's like, well, how? And she's like, well, he has agreed that he will get a penis enlargement if he's not big enough, which is just, I don't know. I guess Troy must not be very confident because my girl was like, you know, if you're not big enough for me, I'm scared you may not be big enough, then we're going to have to figure it out. If I was big enough, I'd be like, okay, you don't got nothing to worry about, baby. But the fact that Troy is playing with this idea about needing to get enlargement, that I'm thinking that he may possibly have some insecurities down there. But I don't know. He claims he's a chick magnet and he's had no issue keeping women in the past. I have a feeling Zeruiah's spending habits may catch up with her because she revealed that she's a single mom. She doesn't have no help with her children, and she spends freely, drops $50K on this prisoner, but she feels like she attracts money, so that's why she spends money like she does, because she's always been blessed in the past. She spends it and then more comes into her hand. But the thing is, you know, you always have to prepare because you can just never guarantee that something's going to work out like that. Then Zeruiah revealed that she currently has her sister living with her, and Troy's not too happy about that, and her sister is really not feeling the fact Troy's going to be moving in. She's like, I can't walk around with my booty cheeks hanging out. And Zeruiah's like, yeah, you can. I mean, I wouldn't want to do that. That was Zeruiah's sister. I would just feel like that's uncomfortable, and then you don't want to be in that place where he's looking at you the wrong way. Troy's hoping that Zeruiah's sister will be moved out by the time he moves in, but I don't see that happening. It does not seem like she is planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Then they showed Zeruiah going to see a tarot card reader, and she's like, okay, are me and Troy gonna have a good relationship? And pretty much the tarot card is not telling Zeruiah anything she wants to hear. She's like, no, you guys are gonna have a hard relationship. And she's like, okay, well, are we gonna work out at least? And the tarot card reader said no. And she's just taken everything the tarot card reader is saying verbatim, and she starts breaking down, crying, all hysterical. I'm like, this is too much. This girl is so freaking lost, and I can already tell that this is going to be a wild storyline. I feel like Troy is going to put this girl through the ringer once he gets out, because you can already tell that he's going to be a handful. But that is it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this couple so far in this season, and what do you guys think? Who do you guys think is going to be the craziest couple? I mean, we haven't really seen the inmates get out, but I think either between her and Troy, or the pink hair girl and her man, I can't remember his name, but I'll have to go back and look. I think they're probably going to be one of the craziest ones. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think about everything in the comments below. Check out my lashes at AccordingtoAmber.com. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.